This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
What is making you feel old lately? 780. There we go. I forgot our phone number that I've said a million times. That's what's making me feel old.
Have you ever accidentally said your personal phone number on air?
No, I got a 587 number, so that
okay.
helps. 780-784-7107.
Well, I'm 31 now, and the hangovers are real.
How long do your hangovers last, Autumn?
Like 3 days.
Okay, you need to do more prep work. That's how you know you're getting old. You have to start drinking
doesn't
water
matter.
the day of. You know you're going to turn up.
Doesn't help.
I should know that, I should have a glass of water after every drink, but I don't.
Yeah, it's too much work.
You need to eat a loaf of bread right before you go to bed.
A loaf?
Right?
Yeah. Eat a sleeve of bagels. It's so funny to me how it's so hard for us to drink water, yet we can slam 13 vodka sodas, no problem.
No problem.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
And there's probably a lot of people listening right now that are hungover after game one of the playoffs with the Oilers last night. We're not feeling good this morning, are we?
I've got a little bead of sweat on my head.
Yeah, I can see it from here.
Yeah, the thing that made me feel old over the last couple of days, not necessarily the hangover, but it was when the crazy weather hit, the snow. I caught myself standing and looking out the window with my hands on my hips for a couple minutes in a row. Just standing, looking at the weather.
And how many times did you say, no, the moisture is good for the grass. The moisture is good for the grass.
Over the last few days, probably at least 6 times.
Way too many times.
What's your making you feel old lately moment?
Yesterday, I came to work and realized I didn't bring a pair of glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually can't look at a screen without them. So I had to turn up the font on my computer to 175%.
What?
Yeah. And I've made fun of people like that before. Like in the stands at a hockey game, I'll see an old man who's got huge font on his phone when he pulls it out. And I'm like, ha ha. Now that's me.
Now that is you. This text also has to do with the weather. Sarah said that she was overly upset about the snow because of what will happen to her tomato plants. And when she realized how upset she was, that's when she felt a little bit old. Which I get it.
Scuba Steve just wrote in saying, I actually am old, but you guys help me feel young. Hashtag blessed. Do you know what that means, Scuba?
Play 107.
Yes, I wasn't sure how this one would go, but we're getting some juice on the text line. What's the most ridiculous thing you've caught on a doorbell cam? There is a viral story I can't wait to tell you about here in a second, but let's get to some of those texts. Mike said a stranger was creeping around their house and then wiped out on the ice really bad. It was caught on tape. When we showed the police, even the officer we showed it to laughed.
That's awesome. Matt wrote in saying, I howl every time I see the video of those 2 kids in Saskatchewan who fell down the icy steps when they were going door to door for a fundraiser. I tried to find it online. I can't, but it feels like it's right up my alley for things that would make me laugh. So if you could find that video, Matt, and send it to us, that'd be great. And then we will then send it to everybody else that texts in and wants to see it. The thing that sucks about the doorbell camera that I bought is it goes straight to my phone, but I don't have my iCloud set up properly, so none of the videos save, none of the footage saves.
So you have to catch the person in the act.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then also, it doesn't record it, so you just have to, remember their face.
Yeah. It's
useless.
It's a very useless system. I originally got it so I could just watch what the dog does while I'm not around. I was genuinely curious. So I have the camera even facing the wrong way. It's facing inside. I should do something about that.
Okay, are you ready for what has gone viral?
Yes.
A guy farted so loud that his neighbors heard. And
Wait. You forgot the part where he doesn't live at the house. He doesn't live there. So the neighbors texted. Isn't he the boyfriend or something?
No, it was his house.
Oh,
that he was in front of.
Okay.
And he farted, and the neighbors heard him fart at his house.
Oh, I thought it was a boyfriend that didn't live there, so
No.
he waited to leave the house to release his gas.
No.
Okay, sorry.
So they texted his wife, the neighbors did, and said, you need to check the doorbell cam from 2 minutes ago, just to see if she would also catch what he had done. And it shows him leaving the house just for a quick second. and then just bucking one, and they have the audio here.
Yeah, can you throw it in there?
Ew!
That's what the neighbors heard, and then texted the guy's wife about.
You want to know why I got confused and thought he didn't live there? Our old roommate, Craig, had a girl over one night, and then she left the next day at like 11 a.m. And as soon as he said bye and closed the door, he ripped the loudest fart I've ever heard, and the windows were open. I was like, she heard that. There's no way she didn't hear that.
For sure she did, yeah. 780-784-7107. What have you caught on doorbell cam?
So I woke up in the morning getting ready to go to work, go outside, and noticed that my front door and my car had been spray painted black. So it's a great way to start the day. So I go to work, tell my coworkers about it. I'm like, some kids must have vandalized my house. And they're like, oh, that sucks. Too bad, blah, blah, blah. When I get home from work, my neighbor comes over and she's like, hey, I have footage of what happened. And she shows it to me, and it's my coworker. So when I confronted him about it, he told me that he was pissed off about something that had happened a couple weeks previous, and he got drunk and...
Did he pay for the damage? Did he clean it?
He did.
Good.
Yeah, he paid for it all. It cost, I think it was $500 or something like that to get it all fixed.
What a turd. And what a lesson for him to learn. Like, that is karma. What a turd.
Yeah, it was pretty funny when I found out who it was.
Oh, I bet you were so fired up and ready to just get back to work.
No, I wasn't even mad. I was really excited to show him the footage the next day.
Woo!
Yeah, I bet.
Play 107.
I just saw this post on a local community group here in Edmonton, and I have to share it with you. It is wonderful. There was a woman who was concerned about a senior who looked to have been living in his truck in a certain area and just posted about it on a community group. There was another woman named Cindy who saw this post and inquired about it. She ended up finding this senior and sitting down and talking with him for 2 hours to find out his story and what was going on. Turns out he was homeless. He found himself that way after succumbing to years of rigorous work as a mechanic and had been on long-term disability. He was falling behind with his mortgage, with high condo fees, and then there was a foreclosure of his home. He has no one in his life. His wife sadly passed away. He's able to get around with a cane but can't stand for a long time. She ended up starting a GoFundMe. And this community group stepped up in a huge way. They found him a bachelor suite. They even said if there's anyone out there who's a mechanic that could look at his truck and find out why his engine light is on. Someone in the comments was like, I'll do it. I'm a retired mechanic. I'll do it for free. So they got him a physician. He's got doctor's appointments coming up. They got groceries that they're doing click and collect to get him. Like, I just think this is such a great example of how Edmonton as a community can just step up and help someone when they're in need.
Totally.
And this guy didn't even ask for it.
Right. Yeah.
It was just an inquiry. Somebody was concerned, and then someone actually did approach him, and luckily he was interested in speaking to them, and now he's got a roof over his head.
Right, and they're looking to raise some more money, right?
Yeah, well, there was an update in the comments that they were able to get enough money for some things that originally the post said they needed.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to donate, I can send you the direct link for this GoFundMe.
Do we know how much has been raised?
I went to the page, and I think it was over $2,000, but they are wanting to get $6,000, so they're still a ways away.
Just to set them up for the next few months.
Yeah, and they said they wanted to keep him anonymous, obviously, at this point. But I just wanted to say big ups to the community and Sydney for making that happen.
Tell me something good.
My story is about a police officer who stepped up. A few minutes ago, we were talking about doorbell cam. His dash cam caught him doing something very heroic as he came across an accident, a rolled over car. The mom was pinned and it wasn't looking good. She was pinned under the car. There was a child in the car as well.
Oh, my gosh.
Just a very traumatic event. And if it wasn't for the dash cam, people wouldn't believe what happened next. But there's proof. The police officer lifted the car off of her by himself.
I truly do think when it comes down to it, your body can do superpowers like that.
Well, like I was even watching an ant carry something about 15 times its size, and I'm like, man, it is amazing that they can do that. So yeah, like I think you're right that if adrenaline takes over, you can do extraordinary things. But I just wanted to give that officer a shout out for saving the woman and the child by
lifting
using
a vehicle.
superhero strength.
Tell me something good.
It's been a struggle not having a label that fits because I'm in between the Gen X and the millennial crowd.
So you were born between 1980 to 1985, and it seems like you're ignored or have been.
Yeah.
Because they're not saying that you're a millennial. Mm-hmm. They're not saying that you're Gen X.
Right.
They're cutting Gen X off at 1980, which they're calling the radio and MTV phase between 1965 and 1980. But there is a new word for you if you're born between 1980 and 1985, but a lot of people are offended by it that were born in those years.
Because the wording they chose is a little ridiculous, but I really like the explanation of it. So it's geriatric millennials.
Do you know what the word geriatric means? I mean, it's referred in medical care for older adults, like an age group
Right.
that's
geezers.
elderly. So I can understand why that can be frustrating.
I think I'd even prefer geezer millennial. Because we're the like
Geezer millennial. What about millennial falcon? That's cool.
okay, not mad at that at all. Or like what about vet millennial?
No, too old.
That sounds old.
Okay, I just saw the funniest tweet about this. Some guy responded with, Jerry, what? We have like 3,000 cute little names for our weird transition phase generation, and this is what you went with? My back pain and heartburn aren't enough for me to contend with? This guy's pissed.
Well, I guess I get it. But I did read something exciting about people born in the early 80s.
Okay.
They're going to be heavily leaned on moving forward in managerial roles if they aren't already, as
Yes.
they understand business because they were trained by Gen X.
Well, you grew up with a PC. You had a computer room.
Exactly, but also grew up around younger millennials and understand their priorities, sensitivities, and personalities. So you're able to manage both crews. So geriatric millennials run the world.
Yeah, Ryder, you're 38, so you're in that wheelhouse,
Damn
and
right.
you're definitely still young and cool enough
Thank you.
to understand maybe 25% of Gen Z language.
Can we just end it there?
But that's
Young
after
and
like
cool.
3 hours of you Googling intensely. But still proud of you. You're crushing it.
I love how you're trying to like give me a compliment, but it doesn't sound like one at all.
I'm trying
Thanks.
my best. I'm trying.
Anyway.
So yeah, you're a geriatric millennial if you were born between 1980 and 1985. I wish there was a cooler name. I still think we should go with Millennial Falcons.
Play 107.
It's time for Unsung Heroes, giving shout outs to people, places, and things that don't always get the attention they deserve.
Shout out to anyone that starts their Instagram story with, hey guys, I just wanted to pop on here real quick. Okay, Taryn, we all know you've been scrolling for 3 hours straight. Pop on here real quick.
Also, a lot of people have been asking me, no, they haven't.
No, they haven't. I'm going to start using that all the time. A lot of people have been asking me.
Shout out to being 5 minutes early for something and in not feeling early at all, but being 5 minutes late for something and feeling incredibly late.
Shout out to people who are way too excited for the Friends reunion. Also, raise your hand if you also bought eye cream immediately after watching the trailer. If they're old, so are we.
Right.
We're aging too.
Yeah.
We can't be judging.
Shout out to the guy who tried to break into a heavyweight UFC fighter's vehicle only to be caught, knocked out, and then held until police came.
Is that true?
Yeah. I'm starting to think rather than a beware of dog sign, I should get a beware of UFC fighter sign. Nobody's messing with that.
Shout out to replying with you too when the barista says enjoy your drink in a drive-thru. Honestly, it's not that embarrassing because they probably have free drinks all day, no? Like they're drinking a coffee inside.
I wonder.
I hope so.
I would
'cause
get a part-time job.
Every single time I'm like, you too. I drive away furious.
Shout out to the Winnipeg Jets for shutting out Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl yesterday. Good luck ever doing that again.
You can do a better evil laugh than that. There we go. Shout out to this weird cold weather. I refuse to pull out my boots again, so now I just walk around with wet socks and stinky feet.
Gross. And finally, shout out to anyone who gained some weight over the pandemic.
Preach.
Bonus, you'll be way more likely to get some action when we can all start playing Spin the Bottle again. I think as you're bigger, there's just more of a chance.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
And that is Unsung Heroes.
Ready to reminisce? It's time for the Nostalgia Off with Ryder and Lisa.
From Ustara and Company.
Play 107.
We have a $50 prepaid Visa that we're going to give to just anyone that texts in with their vote. Whose list brought you back more?
And the wager today is that the loser has to watch the winner's least favorite movie ever. So you would be watching Eyes Wide Shut.
I've never seen it.
Just a terrible movie.
You'd be watching Open Water.
Okay.
Worst movie ever made.
Do this. You go first.
Sure. The sheer fear of getting glittery nail polish on your carpet in your bedroom.
Watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, convinced that you'd probably crush it if you ever had the chance.
Pretending to be asleep when your parents brought you inside after a long car ride. They'd carry you in. It was the best.
That weird phase when one guy from your school is wearing a golf shirt on top of another golf shirt.
Abercrombie.
Yeah, and had the collars popping.
Glow-in-the-dark stars on your ceiling.
Summer holidays feeling like an eternity.
Oh, the good old days. When you were expecting orange slices, but got popsicles at soccer practice.
Ooh, I like that one. Okay, this one might be a stretch. I don't know if this was every school,
Okay.
but I hope I get some votes.
I like
for
it. I like it.
The milk cart rolling in.
Oh, what? With the chocolate milk on it?
Yeah, and picking up a chocolate for your crush because she forgot her punch card.
Oh my God, you did stuff like that?
No problem, Ashley. I got you. Oh, Joanne, you as well? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Punch me 3 times.
Ryder had multiple girlfriends in elementary. My last one is when you'd get a PC game in your cereal box. That is peak 90s right there.
And my last one is making your own breakfast and sitting on the floor in front of the TV crushing Saturday morning cartoons.
That's a good cereal one, too. It was really close, but Ryder won.
Yeah, I did.
Whatever.
So you have to watch the movie Eyes Wide Shut. I'm pretty sure Nicole Kidman's in it, and you like her. But that movie is a turd.
Is it?
Yeah, it's awful.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Play 107.
I'm sure the most used word in Edmonton yesterday was probably a swear word when Winnipeg got their first empty net goal and then just echoed when they got their second. A lot of people pretty frustrated with the outcome yesterday. It feels
sucks.
like this year's a little different, that we got a really good chance to go the distance, potentially. Even you can see it with Connor. He was frustrated too. So hopefully we rebound well, play Winnipeg in game 2 tomorrow night. I've taken a clip of Connor speaking post-game yesterday, and I just feel that those words that we were using should find their way into his speech. It'll just have a little bit more passion if we add fake swear words, right? Mm-hmm. So he didn't actually say these things, but I made it sound like he did. Check it.
You know, I actually didn't mind our game. I thought we did a lot of good shit. I thought we had the puck a lot of the night, played in their zone, put a lot of pucks there. You know, just didn't find a way to get to get one. That's the way it goes. They get a tip. We don't. Let's play hockey.
There it is.
That sounds so real. And you know, once he's in the locker room and there aren't cameras and microphones around, he is dropping those F-bombs in real life.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.